Suppose we wanted to find 5/13 divided by 5/26, and then we were asked to simplify our answer. Well, in order to divide by a fraction, we're going to use the following approach. Let's suppose we had a general fraction of the form a over b, and we wanted to divide by another fraction, c over d. Well, the basic idea when dividing by fractions is we keep the first fraction the same. We don't do anything with that one. So we just rewrite a over b. The second thing we do, though, is we change our division to a multiplication. So I'll indicate that by changing the color. And our third thing that we do is we just flip this second fraction. Instead of writing c over d, we flip it to d over c. And we follow up with the usual multiplication. We'll just multiply the numerators, a times d, and then we multiply our denominators, b times c, and we would get a new fraction, and we would simplify if necessary. So let's go back to our original problem, which said 5/13 divided by 5/26. Well, as we said over here, we keep the first fraction untouched. So let's keep that the same, 5/13. And now we change the division to a multiplication. So we have a multiplication here. And then we just flip this second fraction. Another word for that flip is to say take the reciprocal of that fraction. So we have 26 over 5. Now, we could multiply 5 times 26, and then that would be our numerator, and 13 times 5, and that would be our denominator. But there is an easier way to do this. We could notice that there's a 5 in the numerator, a factor of 5 in the numerator, and a factor of 5 in the denominator. So if we divide the numerator by 5, we have a 1 here, and we divide by 5, we have a 1 down in the denominator. We also have a factor of 13 in both the denominator and the numerator. If we divide the numerator by 13, 2 times 13 is 26, so dividing by 13 in the numerator gives us 2. And if we divide by 13 in the denominator, we have 1. So in the numerator we have 1 times 2, and our denominator we have 1 times 1. Well, 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 1 is 1, so it's 2 over 1 gives us 2. Now let's take a look at a slightly different division. It's a very similar approach. If we have, let's say, 2/3 divided by 3, and what we want to do here, let's say it's divided by 2, and we don't have an obvious fraction here in the second spot, but if we rewrite this 2 as 2 over 1, then we'll be in business. So let's just rewrite this problem just a little bit so it makes it easier to see how we're going to treat it. So 2/3 divided by, instead of just 2, we'll say 2 over 1. All we've done is we've written 2 as a fraction so that we can see how to find the reciprocal. So the next step we have, just following our rule over here, keep the first fraction the same. So we have 2/3, not doing anything different. Now we change our division to a multiplication, and we flip, or take the reciprocal of this fraction, 2 over 1. Flipping that gives us 1/2. Okay, now we look for a common factor. There's actually a factor of 2 in both the numerator and the denominator. So let's divide by 2 in the denominator, giving us 1, and divide by 2 here in the numerator gives us 1. And so we have 1 times 1 over 3 times 1, or just 1/3. So we've seen 2 examples of how to divide by fractions by keeping the first fraction, changing it to a multiplication, and flipping the second fraction, then multiplying as we've done before. Well, I hope this helps a little bit with dividing by fractions, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial.